Hi, I'm Jennifer Roberts. This is True Divine 4-4, and it's just a contemplation of the biggest threat, the biggest weapon. And it's something that we don't want to consider because it's not very pleasant to consider. But looking at the state that we're in, looking at the things that are coming to pass that I've warned of, many, even greater than me have warned of, we see that it is coming to pass that the greatest weapon against ourselves is ourselves. While these so-called powers that be, while these beings that came in here and hijacked this realm and have controlled and manipulated humanity for generation after generation after generation, they figured out that the greatest weapon is the people. More than nuclear bombs, more than bullets, more than gas. All of those are facilitated by ushering the people into a certain direction, by ushering the people into a place of consent, into a place of a wanting for safety, for nourishment, for authority to be taken. We've given too much of our authority away in our individual lives and as a collective and as a many. And now we're going to see the real fallout, the real repercussions, the real payoff of that, in that we see that I can feel it bubbling, the greatest divide amongst the people, in that the people who have had the roll up the sleeve and the people that have not, into the people that are triggered through wounds that they refuse to work through, generational wounds that aren't even real to them, that have been implanted by these so-called powers that be, alongside the protests in America and the new protests that I can feel coming in the UK, the protests in Germany, in France. This is where protests have been merged with riots. And so in the mind's eye of the people who are asleep, we are all rioters. In the mind's eye of the people who are gladly going along and getting that roll up the sleever and doing as they're told and muzzling up, we are the enemy. It's time that humanity finally looks at the head of the snake, where this is all coming from. I've just mentioned in the comments there on one of my videos to a beautiful person, where they brought up the bill that is being passed here in the UK regarding the fact that police can act outside of the law as we know it, on the suspicion of anything if two people are talking, even if it's just one person alone. All of that after the great loss of a beautiful woman, an innocent woman that was murdered by a police officer that works within that system. This is where it is going in America, in that they are encouraging, allowing certain riots, not protests, riots, where innocents get hurt and triggered mentality people are hurting their fellow man and woman and child, refusing to look at their inner wounds as to why they would align with such a thing. We see that they're allowing this because very soon there is going to be, we need to save you. We need to pass something that we just need to ban all protest. We need to ban all gathering in the guise of safety, taking authority and bringing peace. At which point they'll be told to stand down for a little while. This is going to a place that saddens my heart greatly. And it saddens my heart because it could be solved in a day. Yes, there would be lots to organise afterwards. Yes, there would be lots to look at and re-establish and let go of afterwards regarding of how we live, how we cooperate. But in a day, if people would realise that we are being used as weapons, the greatest weapons, against each other, while people sit in their ivory towers, while shadowy entities, never even entering into physical form. Some are, yes, some doesn't. It's a dark black mist around our ankles. dividing and pulling us into different tides. My hope and my intent today, standing in my power and in my authority, in no fear, is to speak out togetherness, connectedness, clarity, and purpose. That we can look at the head of the snake and stop fighting each other with the tail of the snake. And look at what we're facing now and why we're facing it. Because of these psychopathic entities and the puppets that allow it to embroil us in such a saga, in such a drama, feeding off our energy continuously. There is a crossroads here. There is a path in here where people need to see that this is going to a place of transhumanism. They don't hide it, it's there. It's going to a place of getting rid of any kind of force that we've been known because we are that force, but it's been hidden from us as to how forceful we are, how powerful we are. To get rid of that completely, to terraform for a completely different race, a completely different, species, not race. It needs to be stopped. And one of the greatest lies ever told is that this is just how it is. This is just the way it's got to be. These systems that we're living under now were put in place by these beings. They've grown them, they've nurtured them, and we've created the space and the energy in order to build them. We have the spiritual right to stand in our righteousness, to stand in our strength, to pull them down, to pull these systems down and rebuild better. There is such creativity, there is such inspiration, there is such beauty amongst humans that are ready to want the best for each other, that are ready to want the best for themselves and therefore want the best for those around them, that are ready to build and work for the greatness of us as individuals and as the collective. Retract your energy from these systems today and send out a bolt of lightning, however you feel led to do so, to burn that motherboard up. They've got us so distracted in so many different spider webs, stuck in so many ways of thinking. The only way to think today is that we do not want to leave what these people are planning to leave or are planning to do to our children. No longer is it a political fight, a religious fight, a wound fight, a generational hurt fight. It is time to stand as people together, regardless of our differences, to see that no matter what the differences are that we have, they are nothing compared to the difference and disparity of the illusion of these systems and these powers that be that say that they are there to serve and protect. They have literally ripped their mask off for all to see. They have literally shown and told us all what they are, who they are, what they want. It's time for us to really stand in our power, however you can today, in your individual life. Because believe you me, they're feeding off our energy. So even you making those decisions in your individual life to stand as a divine and sovereign being and be led by your heart, by your intuition, for your greatness, that energy is put out there. That energy is read and received. So make sure they receive it. Make sure they feel it. Do everything you can do today to be the beautiful great, fantastical being that you are. Because you are. Find that force, find that power within you. Back me up in my intent in doing so also. Leading us into a dark path where they are literally on many levels enjoying the sacrificial ritual of people from all sides of the aisle, from all divides. Make sure they feel you today. Make sure they feel you in your power. All those around you that want to degrade and limit you, make sure they just feel your power brush on by them. And so it is for the so-called powers that be. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I'll be doing more readings today, hopefully, and hopefully cover some of the blue because that's coming up a lot. And I want to just put my intent out there for your greatness today. Mwah.